Hey guys, CJ here, bringing you an all-new bio this week, inspired by last week's bombshell issue of Justice League. Now, we have a lot to cover. As you can see, the Anti-Monitor has a new look and an expanded origin to go along with his monstrously high power level, meaning that ability section is going to take some time to get through. In fact, I can say with confidence, I think that's the longest ability section I've ever done for a bio, so far. What's really key and interesting here is that to understand this new origin, you kind of have to understand the origin for the entire DC universe, or at least to fully comprehend the Anti-Monitor's origin. So things are about to get biblical in scale, but I'm going to try to condense and compress things as much as I can to make it as easy as possible for you guys. But without further ado, let's get started with some DC Universe Origins cliff notes. When the universe was being created, the Source instilled it with free will above all else. Afterwards, the life entity was created, giving life to the first living organisms, and life developed across the universe. However, the first sentient beings that came to be were on Earth, actually, which is why the life entity was buried in the Earth's core. However, even before the rise of these sentient beings, though, several organisms experienced emotions for the first time in the universe's young life, and these primal experiences of emotion transformed each one of those organisms into an embodiment of each emotion, thus creating the emotional spectrum. In addition, certain beings created by the life entity were exposed to the power of the Source wave longer than others, turning them into what we would call the new gods. And so, as dense as that still was, that was the beginning of the DC universe, and clearly there was a ton of stuff going on. I mean, due to the quote-unquote sensitive and raw nature of it, the whole shebang was illegal, off limits, to witness via time travel or other means. However, of course there's always one being named Mobius ignored this rule, letting his curiosity drive him to explore it. And to complete this task, Mobius invented a special chair, and at this point I expect that's ringing some bells for some of you, that allowed him to transport to different dimensions, such as the dimension of the new gods and Olympians, and other universes too, among various other abilities. Using this chair, Mobius set off to see the origin of the universe. However, as he witnessed the creation of the universe, he discovered a second universe was created also, the antimatter universe. Journeying into this antimatter universe, Mobius learned the truth of what was at its heart. As the antimatter universe is the opposite of the main universe, the opposite of willpower is the very fabric of the antimatter universe, and this is what eventually becomes known as the anti-life equation. Upon this discovery, Mobius accidentally became fused with the anti-life equation, becoming its living embodiment, and this made Mobius insanely powerful, equal in level with new gods like Darkseid and Highfather. After this fusion, he was no longer able to use his chair, letting it find a new user, and later it came to Metron, the first user of the chair that we meet in comics. Mobius desires to fix his condition above all else, believing that only killing Darkseid will allow it to happen, and this, along with an as-of-yet unknown event, causes large tension between him and Darkseid, making them bitter enemies, which is also kind of why they're fighting in the first place. So, as you can see, Anti-Monitor has a very dense and world-building new origin story that is front and center in what's been going on in the current Darkseid War storyline of the Justice League. Now, onto his abilities. Anti-Monitor has the general abilities of a new god, such as their incredible strength, speed, durability, and so on and so forth. He is also extremely smart, even by the standards of quote-unquote divine beings, having created the Mobius chair, which far exceeds even modern New Genesis technology. He can project beams of antimatter energy, as he is also able to manipulate this energy, even absorbing it and taking the life of other living things, planets, universes, and more, which only make him more powerful, and for more on that, see the original Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline. Being the living embodiment of the anti-life equation also allows him to control any sentient being, even beings such as the Black Racer, with willpower quote-unquote beneath his, as he must conquer them with his personal will to make them do what he wants. In a roundabout way, Anti-Monitor is compelled to control these beings, or to put it even further in layman's terms, he gets what he wants. This ties into his ability to break any non-divine being's will in giving him complete control over them. For example, he was able to fuse the Black Racer with the Flash without either being wanting that unholy union. And to wrap it up, he can warp reality to an unknown extent, and he can also change his size at will, as just the icing on top of an evil cake. Despite all these incredible powers, he does have several Achilles heels, one of which is his inability to transport to different universes at will. He needs someone to actually summon him to a universe, which causes red marks across the sky, which is kind of like his telltale sign. When you see that, you screwed up and you're pretty much dead. So that about wraps it up for Anti-Monitor's origin. Of course, I know that was a lot of information in, at this point, less than 5 minutes. So I hope you guys at least absorbed that. If you need to go back and watch it again, feel free. I really tried to compress and condense it as much as possible. Of course, personally, to me, the last issue of Justice League was absolutely incredible. I'm a big guy for game-changing twists. Hence why I actually liked a lot of M. Night Shyamalan's early movies. But all that aside, Anti-Monitor has been, a very interesting character in the DC universe for 20 to 30 years now, and at this point, in my mind, he's become an even more interesting character, and that just makes Darkseid War as a storyline even more exciting and interesting, for that. So, wrapping up in a roundabout way, what did you think of this character bio? Now, we already have next week's planned, but if you got any more that you want to see done, just let us know and we'll work them into the rotation. So in the comments below, tell us what you thought of Justice League number 44. Tell us what you think of the Anti-Monitor, and don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.